Guys, hello. Welcome back to another episode of What Are We Doing on the Internet? Let's do a studio tour. That's what we're doing. Here's the space, guys. Here's one of two spaces that I'm in all of the time, just making stuff. First and most important, in any studio, you need a computer. And I use a Mac. I just find them easy and very efficient and very powerful. The Apple silicone stuff, the M1, I think what I have is an M1 Pro Max. And before I got that, every couple years, I was making these computers just like sweat and just die, just horribly chaotic deaths. And this one barely even breaks a sweat. It's great. You need a computer, you need an interface. I have this Universal Audio Apollo Twin. It's the Mark II, and I love it. I use a ton of UA plugins, and what's cool about these that's different from most is that when you're using Universal Audio's plugins, you can run them with no latency at all and using the DSP built into this guy instead of your computers, which is super handy. And these plugins are amazing. I use a lot. I use a lot of those. You don't need, this is a nice one. They make very, very, very even more expensive things. But honestly, the 2i2 stuff, what is that? Who makes the Scarlett interfaces? Focusrite. Focusrite makes great stuff. If I didn't have that, I would definitely be using a Focusrite. And then all you got to do is figure out how many inputs do you need and how many outputs. You probably only need 2 outputs if you have one set of speakers. So you need a computer, interface, and then you need a microphone. I would say if you have any money at all to spend on a microphone, get one of these. It's a Shure SM7B. And I've been trying other microphones. I've been trying some different types of mics and maybe some more expensive stuff. And I just keep coming back to this. Everybody has one of these. There's a reason. It works great. It works so great for vocals. It works great on acoustic guitars. Anything that's like an acoustic instrument works great on. You need something to hear what you're doing. So you start with some headphones, I would say. These are Audio-Technica ATH M50x's, and they're great. I think they're like $100, and they're very flat for the most part, at least to my ear. And that's a good thing because it's accurate and it'll help your mix get dialed in a little better. If you want some speakers, I would recommend that. Get you a pair of monitors, studio monitors. These are Yamaha's HS8s. One thing I would say, I love these monitors. I would say make sure you take into account the size of the room that you're in. Those might be overkill even for this room, but certainly for a smaller room, they would be probably too much. I made these, they're bass traps. I just took some wood and some insulation I got from Home Depot and like sealed that up so I'm not breathing in fiberglass, and then wrapped them in an appropriate fabric. And same thing I did with this cloud up here. And then we've got a bunch of these wall panels, and really the purpose of these is to eliminate reflection for mixing. So any point in the room where sound would bounce off and come back to me, or bounce off, bounce on another wall, come back, I tried to eliminate that as much as possible. It's not something you desperately need, certainly not to record. It's very helpful to mix with. Well, hey, we got some guitars over here. A couple of basses. This is a Squire P bass that I just love. And I got a baritone here. I play a lot of interesting tunings in the stuff that I make. I like to play electric guitar lower than standard a lot of the times, and this is just a great way to do that. A lot of people are stringing up like Jaguars and stuff like that with a baritone configuration. If you didn't want to get a guitar, but you did want to do that, Digitech makes this great pedal called the Drop Tune, something like that. Google it. It's really good. I've had these guitars with me for a long time. I love them. This is my Gibson Hummingbird, tried and true. Got an SG here from 73. And a Nash Strat, which is one of my all-time favorites. Bill Nash makes incredible stuff. Got a piano in here. I got this for free on Craigslist. And a friend of mine flexed his bicep home, reaching out the back window of my truck for like an hour ride to bring it home because I didn't have any straps. So thanks, Josh. I appreciate you. Got a drum set. This is Questlove's Ludwig. It's a smaller kit. And it's not mic'd up at the moment. I do a lot of sampling drums and kind of like placing them and just kind of tuning them exactly how I want them. Mostly because I've never really mastered recording drums and like getting an outcome that I love and I'm really happy with. I am gonna start digging into that, so I've put this kit in here, and maybe we'll make a video on that, what I'm kind of learning there. Got a Dr. Z over there. I'm gonna be honest, right now, everybody is selling tube amps because modelers have gotten so good, and I'm keeping my eyes peeled. I bought a couple of amps for like crazy cheap because the value is not there at this current moment. I think that's going to change, and I think I'm gonna come out on top on that one. Nothing beats the real thing to me. Yeah, let's talk about this couch. This is a really comfy couch, and I find that if people are listening, if you're showing them something, the head bob test is the test. That's the truest thing they can communicate to you. If they're not tapping their feet, if they're not vibing, they probably don't like it, even if they tell you they do, because they're sweet and they love you. And that's really it. I think to summarize this whole thing, if you want to start recording music, you can get started probably with what you have. You can start with your phone. If you don't have an interface and a mic, the voice memos app on iPhone is amazing. And some people literally use that in these like crazy decadent studios. They'll pull out their iPhone and track acoustics with it because it's just great. Start with what you have and start simple. One big thing I have learned that pays off for me constantly is take everything you can in between you getting an idea and being able to track that idea. Take everything you can between those and get it out or shorten it. Have stuff plugged in and ready to go. Minimize troubleshooting as much as you possibly can, and you'll be in good shape. It's not that complicated, and people are making incredible music from tour buses or Airbnbs or their bedroom. So we kind of don't really have much of an excuse, do we? Just gotta get after it, Cole.
I'm after it.
Yeah, you've been after it.
Yeah, where you make me feel like when the lights turn on, like when the music starts playing, and I can't help but dance along.